It was a late, starless night, the kind that swallows the road ahead. I'd been driving for 10 hours straight, fueled by gas station coffee, and the burning desire to put as much distance as possible between myself and my old life. The engine sputtered, coughed, and finally died, leaving me stranded on a desolate stretch of highway. My phone, of course, was dead. A single flickering sign up ahead was my only beacon of hope. The Sleepy Hollow Motel. Vacancy. It looked like something straight out of a classic horror film, but at that point, any port in a storm would do. I grabbed my bag and walked towards the eerie glow. The motel office was a small, dusty room that smelled of stale cigarettes and something else. Something metallic and vaguely sweet. An old man with a face like a road map of wrinkles sat behind the counter, staring at a fuzzy television screen. He didn't even look up when the bell on the door chimed. I cleared my throat.
Excuse me, I need a room for the night.
Excuse me, I need a room for the night. He slowly turned his head, and his eyes, pale and cloudy, seemed to look right through me. Just you? He rasped, his voice like gravel. Just me, I confirmed. He slid a tarnished brass key across the counter. Room 7, end of the line. Room 7 was just as uninviting as the office. The floral wallpaper was peeling. The carpet was stained with a history I didn't want to know, and the air was thick and heavy. Exhaustion hit me like a physical blow. I locked the door, wedged a chair under the handle for good measure, and collapsed onto the lumpy bed. I must have fallen asleep instantly, because the next thing I knew, I was jolted awake by a sound. A rhythmic, scraping sound. It was coming from outside my window. Scrape, pause, scrape, pause. It sounded like someone was dragging a heavy shovel across the concrete. My heart hammered against my ribs. I crept to the window, my hands trembling as I pulled back a sliver of the grimy curtain. What I saw sent a chill down my spine that had nothing to do with the night air. A figure was out there, shrouded in the darkness, their back to me. It was the old man from the front desk. He was digging. Under the weak, flickering light of a single lamppost, I could see him methodically turning over the earth in a small, neglected flower bed right outside my room. Why would anyone be gardening in the middle of the night? I let the curtain fall, my mind racing. It was probably nothing. Maybe he was just a weird, insomniac gardener. I tried to tell myself that, to rationalize it, but the unease was a knot in my stomach. I got back into bed, pulling a thin blanket up to my chin, but sleep was impossible. The scraping sound continued for what felt like an eternity before finally stopping. I held my breath, listening to the suffocating silence that followed. And then, a new sound. A soft thud against my door. I froze, every muscle in my body tensed. Thud, thud, it wasn't a knock. It was a gentle, almost lazy bumping, as if someone was leaning against the door. I didn't dare move. I didn't dare breathe. The doorknob began to jiggle. Slowly, then more insistently. My eyes were glued to the brass knob, watching it turn back and forth. Thank God for the chair. The jiggling stopped. I waited, my ears straining for any noise. Silence. After a few minutes, I heard faint footsteps retreating down the walkway. I stayed perfectly still for what felt like hours, listening to the frantic beating of my own heart. I didn't sleep for the rest of the night. As soon as the first hint of dawn painted the sky gray, I was out of there. I didn't even bother trying to get my deposit back. I practically ran to my car, praying it would start. As I fumbled with the keys, my eyes were drawn back to the flower bed outside room 7. The earth was freshly turned, just as I had seen. And sticking out of the soil was a small piece of fabric. A corner of a blue floral pattern, to be exact. It was the same pattern as the peeling wallpaper inside my room. My blood ran cold. I didn't wait to investigate. I threw myself into the car, turned the key, and a miracle happened. The engine roared to life. I floored the gas pedal, kicking up a spray of gravel as I sped out of the Sleepy Hollow Motel. I didn't look back. I drove and drove. The image of that disturbed earth and the scrap of wallpaper burned into my mind. I still don't know what the old man was burying that night. Was it just old motel trash? Or was he burying the evidence of the person who stayed in room 7 before me? Sometimes I wake up in a cold sweat, hearing that scraping sound, and I know I'll never have the answer. And I'll certainly never, ever stop at a roadside motel again. Thank you so much for listening to my story. If you have a creepy motel experience of your own, share it in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe for more chilling tailies. Stay safe out there.